Sebelum dimulai, klik tombol subscribe dan klik loncengnya ya guys. Terima kasih.
Most people stay in their jobs or working things, or even marriage or relationships because they fear change. Can I do better? Can I get a better opportunity? Will somebody hire me? Will somebody date me? Will somebody marry me? Will somebody want my kids that I have? That's a fear, and people don't want to make change because they've already told themselves they can't do it. And when you make adjustments, when you stop yourself first, really sad, because let somebody else tell you what you cannot do. But in the process of that, prepare for success. In other words, are you willing to put time in your next move?
Stop beating yourself up and stop judging yourself. We all go through chapters, right? Like sometimes you're super in love with your partner and like that's all you can obsess about, you know. Other times you're, super into your profession because you got a new initiative. I think this comes down to judgment. Stop beating yourself up. There is not even a close framework for what's right. Everyone's balance is massively individual, and more importantly, balance ebbs and flows forever.
Is that we are not just blessed, we are privileged. We are truly privileged. There are not many people around this planet who are this lucky. Yet majority of us chooses to live in mediocrity, and I've done that too. If we are so privileged to be this rich, and we are not comparing ourselves to neighbors, we are comparing ourselves to the neighbors far, far away on other continents, then why do we choose mediocrity? If it's in our hands to actually do something, and we have to do something if we want to continue living on this beautiful planet.
To realize that you really can depend on yourself. You of course have to have many great people around you, but I knew that if it was going to happen for me, I had to keep moving forward. And maybe that was a stumble, maybe it was a crawl, maybe it was just barely trying to put one thing in front of the other during that time. But I kept pushing forward, I kept moving forward, and I think that's one of the lessons I still carry forward with me to this day. When I see things getting tough, or when I see things that seem insurmountable to other people, I know we just have to stay the course, we have to stay focused, and we keep putting one foot in front of the other. The key is to keep moving. And that's something that I think really was that turning point for me.
If you actually make pretend nobody else lives on Earth, nothing is scary. I think people got caught. I think they just get caught that everybody's in this framework of other people's opinions. It's how we're raised. This is why I put out so much content. Maybe today's the day that I say it a different way that makes people realize their mom and their girlfriend and their boyfriend and their uncle, and definitely anonymous people on social media, and Lewis and Gary's opinions actually don't matter. Wow, the liberation to then actually do shit. And now you're doing shit full throttle because of whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter.
I have 24 hours in a day. I try to take advantage of every hour. And I have certain rules that I initially tell people on a regular basis. If you want to start living a successful life, start locking into a consistent time that you should get up every day. Don't let it deviate. If you say get up at 8 o'clock, don't hit the other snooze and get up at 8:30. I get up at 4:30. That's just my time. I'm not a happy guy getting up, but that's a goal I set. And I'm gonna just tell you this honestly. If you're about to make a change in your life and you feel uncomfortable, that's the best feeling you can have. Because for the first time in your life, you're making a decision that's gonna be best for you and not what somebody told you to do. And that's when all bets are off, man, because you're about to enter some uncharted waters that's gonna force you to challenge yourself to be perfect in so many ways. And shooting for perfection is all good. You don't shoot for average, because you're not gonna hit all the time. If you shoot for perfection and you hit good or great, you're winning.
So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes when we think that we don't know the solution, we don't know the decision, it is not because we don't know. In my 42 years, I've learned that we always deep inside know the truth, but we're just so scared to face it.
There's a famous formula, which I'm sure you heard of, E plus R equals O, where E is the event, something happens to you, R is your reaction, and O is the outcome. And the only thing that matters is your reaction to whatever comes up. Because you know, in life, in business, stuff's going to come up at some point. You just don't know what it is. And it's all about your reaction, how you deal with that.
So to me, the biggest thing is the humility was such a factor. I didn't realize how big of a deal that was, how much that worked for me. Is like, I don't believe I'm as great as I know I am. Like, my logical side knows that I'm up to something, but I just don't internalize it. I won't let it penetrate my soul. I think I have the ability to be the biggest deal, but I will never believe it.
I believe anyone can change. It's never too late to change, and you can actually use the things in your past, use the darkness you can redeem it.
Every experience that comes your way is a tool. When we lost our home and we had to go live with my grandparents, I understood that these are just material things, that doesn't define you. It doesn't make you. So when you get these challenges, when you have these things that come up in your life, continue to move forward. Baby steps. Baby steps. Become intentional about what it is that you're going to do. Nobody in your family may have done that. Nobody in your community, your city, your country may have done that. But if that's what's been put here for you, take it in baby steps. Begin to see how that you're going to move forward. It's exactly what I did once I came and I understood my purpose and I understood what it is that I was supposed to be doing. I sat down and created a plan as to how I was going to go about deploying that. And I think that's what you really have to do, and take it in baby steps. Don't try to do the whole thing at once. Sit it down, look at it, break it down, rebuild it, put it back together, and then assign time frames to everything that you want to accomplish, and break it down in phases, and then focus everything you have on that phase.
You know, we're obsessed about this idea about every one of us has a talent, but the truth is that we are multi-talented. And if I compare myself facet to facet to facet, there is always someone who has different energy, who's better at this, who's better at that. But what makes me valuable is the combination of what I have. I don't have to compare myself. In fact, if I compare myself, that's the surest way to depression, I promise, if you want to try.
When you don't know where you're going in life, do not look 4 years down the line. Do not look 2 years or a year. You look next week, next month. You keep your goals short, and that way as you accomplish those goals, then you can start piling up little trophies or little moments to know that you're actually accomplishing something. You're actually climbing the steps to success. Where people make the mistake in their goals, but a goal that doesn't allow them to qualify success quick enough. And so I always tell people, shorten your goals, shorten your window, and that's how you find your voice. You cannot find your voice if you're trying to, if you say, I'm gonna come into Hollywood to be a star. But if you come in here just to be a star in entertainment, or you're going to college and you're trying to graduate in 4 years and what you're going to do, it confuses people. That's why a lot of today's millennials, they see short-term success as a faster way of finding their voice versus a college degree.
Those with the greatest hope have the greatest influence. And I love that. Like, there are two kinds of people in the world. There are people in the world that think the world is getting better, and there are people that think the world is getting worse. Who do you want to hang out with?
And then you assign the time frames. I think the time frames, the timelines are the critical piece to it, because that's where so many people go from just having a hobby or a dream. And I'm sure many people understand that dreams are tough, because without a time frame, a timeline, they may just stay dreams. When you assign a time frame and a plan of action to it, it can become a goal, and then it can become attainable. And I think that's what you have to do, makes it very present then. You have your work cut out for you, you know what you need to do, and now it's just about doing it.
Let's come out of this leaning into humility and gratitude, and that will be the springboard to everything you want. You know, just be grateful. Like, grateful for the time you're spending with family now, grateful for the innovation time, the thinking time. Gratitude and humility.